Hello students. So students, we were talking about the chapter that is the fundamental unit of a life and which is a cell. So we were studying about the cell and we have seen that what are the different types of the cells are there. Means different types, it means on the basis of their nucleus. Okay, so one is having well developed nucleus, it means one is having the nucleus and other one do not having the nucleus. So one is a complete cell and another is an incomplete cell. And on the basis of that we have divided them into two, and that is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Eu means true, karyon means nucleus, pro means primitive, karyon nucleus. So ultimately we can say that the nucleus which is primitive, which is incomplete, that is a prokaryotic cell. Basically all cells, if you see the structure, it is the basic structure. But it depends upon the genetic material, that whether the genetic material is lying in the cytoplasm or it is having a well-defined nucleus along with the membrane around it, that is known as the nuclear membrane. So in case of a prokaryotic, you will find that there is no such kind of a well-developed nucleus is present. The genetic material is there, but these genetic material used to lie in that of the cytoplasm. Okay, single chromosome is present and that present in the cytoplasm, so it lie in the cytoplasm. But in case of the eukaryotic cell, we will find that in case of a eukaryotic, it is a complete cell. So there are more than one single chromosome is present, and these genetic material, they are present in the cytoplasm, okay, but they do not present like it, means there is a membrane which used to separate the genetic material through cytoplasm, and that is known as the nucleus, and the membrane which is present around the nucleus is called the nuclear membrane. If we talk about the other organelles, so in case of the prokaryotic cell student, we have find that prokaryotic cell even does not have the membrane bound cell organelle, but eukaryotic cell are well developed, consisting of all the different kind of a genetic material and the cell organelles in it. You see students, if we talk about the ribosome, although the ribosome is present in both of the cases. So these are the things which differ that of the prokaryotic cell to the eukaryotic. If we look after that, who is having the prokaryotic? So it is the primitive microorganism. It means the archibacteria or that of the simple bacteria or cyanobacteria is there, which consisting of that of a prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell can occur in both the cases, that is in the unicellular as well as the multicellular organism. So it occurs in the plant, it occurs in all the different kind of animals. So this was about the prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Then we have understood the division of the liver, in which we have seen the difference between that of the organ and organelles. So we have find that organs are what the different parts which used to perform the different kind of a function, and organelles are the parts of the cell which used to perform the different kind of a function. Okay, so if it is the mitochondria, it helps in providing energy. If it is the ribosome, it helps in providing the protein. If it is the lysosome, it helps in clearing the waste material. So like our body organ used to do the different kind of a function, organelles of the cell also do a different kind of function. So we have understood this much. Now let us move and try to understand the structure of the cell. So basically, if we talk about the structure of the cell, so cell, okay, their shape and size and everything varies from each other. But the one thing that is common are the functional region of the cell is that of the plasma membrane is there, cytoplasm is there, and nucleus is there. Okay, so we can write it. The three functional regions of cell is plasma membrane, plasma membrane. The second one is cytoplasm. And finally, third one is the nucleus. Now you see students, in the cytoplasm, all the cell organelles are present, okay, and which used to perform the different kind of function. If we talk about the plasma membrane, so plasma membrane is what? It is the outer boundary of the cell. Okay, cytoplasm is the fluid which is present in that of the cell wall or the cell organelle used to float in it. Used to perform the different function. The cytoplasm also help in transporting the things. We will discuss about this in detail later on. Then we comes to the nucleus. What is the nucleus? So nucleus is basically present at the center of the cell, and its role is to keep the genetic material in it. So basically it helps in keeping the genetic material in it, and we can say that this nucleus is very important as it helps in the transmission of the genes. So these are the three major functional reasons of the cell. Now, if we talk about that, is it possible to see it with the help of a light microscope? So for nucleus, yes, we can see the nucleus with the light microscope, but the other thing like that of a plasma membrane or other cell organelle, electron microscope is there to see it. So we can write it that nucleus can be seen through light microscope. But it can be seen through light microscope. But other cell or organelles, and plasma membrane can be seen through electron microscope. Okay, so cell organelles and the plasma membrane, it can be seen through that of the electron microscope. But if we talk about the nucleus, it can be seen through that of the light microscope also. Now you see students, these are the three different functional reasons. Now let us try to understand all of the three one by one. So we will start with that of the plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. Okay. So, what is the nature, what is the occurrence? So, you see students that all the cell organelles, it can be a Golgi apparatus, it can be mitochondria, lysosome or ribosome, even the nucleus is present around a thin boundary, and that is known as the plasma membrane. Okay? So, most of the cell organelles are enclosed by a unit membrane called as plasma membrane. Okay? So we can say that it is what? It is living living, elastic, selectively permeable membrane. I'll tell you the meaning of the selectively permeable. Selectively permeable membrane. Selectively permeable membrane. Under light microscope, we will see it as like a line only. But with the help of the electron microscope, we will be able to see the proper structure of the plasma membrane. We will see it as a line, but with the electron microscope can see properly. Can see properly means we can see the proper structure of the plasma membrane. Now let us see what is there in the plasma membrane, students. So first of all, let me tell you that it is a living, thin, elastic and selectively permeable membrane. Okay, thin is there, elasticity is there and the living is there. So what is the use of this? It will help in the endocytosis, which is a function of that of the plasma membrane. Selectively permeable. So you have heard here three words. One is the impermeable, second one is the semi-permeable or selectively permeable, third one is the permeable. Permeable membrane is the membrane which allow all the solvent or the solute to pass through the membrane. Impermeable, which do not allow the movement of any of the solute and the solvent. Selectively permeable membrane or a semi-permeable membrane is the membrane which used to allow only the solvent particles to pass through it, or we can say it will allow only the selected molecules to pass through it. That is why the name is given selectively permeable. So it is a semi-permeable or it is a selectively permeable membrane. Okay, so this is about that of the plasma membrane, thin, elastic, selectively permeable membrane, a boundary through in which all the cell organelles are present. So this is the basic thing about that of the cell membrane. Now, if we talk about the plasma membrane, so chemically it is analyzed that 75% of the plasma membrane is composed of phospholipids. Although it also consisting of the cholesterol, it consisting of proteins and the other substances are also present in it. But the most of the part of the plasma membrane is made up of the phospholipid. A model was given by that of the Singer and Nicholson. They had given a model and that is known as a fluid-Bozak model. According to the fluid-Bozak model, they have said that plasma membrane is what? It is composed of a phospholipids and or it is composed of a bilipid membrane, or it is a bilipid membrane, biphospholipid membrane in which the proteins are embedded in it. These proteins are of a different types. It means the proteins are there which used to float about in the phospholipid. Such kind of a protein is known as the intrinsic protein. While there are other kind of a protein is there which is present either at the side, means at the edges, or at the inside to that of the phospholipid layer of the plasma membrane. And that is known as the extrinsic protein. So we will say that the plasma membrane is what? Is a sea of phospholipid in which the protein icebergs are floating on its surface. So basically it is made up of a phospholipid in which the protein is embedded or present in it. So let us see that what is the structure of the plasma membrane. Okay, so let us write the structure. Let me write all the thing in the points which made you the thing very much clear. So the first is chemical analysis. Chemical analysis has shown that plasma membrane is made up of 75% or plasma membrane shown that 75% shown that 75% of plasma membrane 75% of plasma membrane is composed of phospholipids. Composed of phospholipids. In addition, membrane also consisting of proteins, cholesterol and polysaccharides. Okay. In addition, membrane also consisting of a protein, cholesterol and polysaccharide. So these are the things which is present in that of the plasma membrane, and on the basis of that, the two researchers, they work on the plasma membrane and they had given a model, and that is known as a fluid mosaic model. It's a very famous model. Whenever you will study about the plasma membrane, even in the higher class, this model will also come. Okay, so it was Singer and Nicolson suggested a model called fluid mosaic model. Fluid model. Fluid mosaic model. Okay, so according to this model, the plasma membrane is composed of, is made up of or composed of bilayer means two layer of phospholipids. Two layer of phospholipids. Also, two type of proteins are also there. Two types of proteins are also there. Called as intrinsic protein and extrinsic proteins. Okay. So, called intrinsic protein and extrinsic protein. Intrinsic and extrinsic protein. Okay. So the protein which used to float on the surface of this, on the layer of the phospholipid, is called as intrinsic protein. Intrinsic protein and extrinsic protein. If we talk about the intrinsic protein, so this is a protein which cover the whole biphospholipid layer. Intrinsic protein. So we can say that this completely covers the whole lipid layer, whole biphospholipid layer. So this is what, that if this is, and this is another layer which is like this. So here itself, in this whole layer, there is an intrinsic protein which used to cover the whole region of one of the part of the biphospholipid layer. Okay, so this is a kind of a layer of the protein which used to cover the whole biphospholipid layer, that is called as the intrinsic protein. What about the extrinsic protein? So extrinsic protein is basically embedded inside, or it is present either at the sides. Okay, so we can write about the extrinsic. So, extrinsic proteins, it occurs either on the outer surface, or in the inner surface. So it is present at either of the inner surface or that of the outer surface. That is what? That is called as the intrinsic and extrinsic protein. Now here the question arises that what is the use of the protein? So protein is not only there to give the strength, mechanical strength, but it used to perform a lot of other functions. Like it provide flexibility, it help in the active transport, it help in the transport of the material. Let me write it about that what is the role of these two proteins. Even it help in the endocytosis, students. You see that intrinsic protein cover the whole bilipid layer, so it will help in the endocytosis. So we can write that the protein not only give strength to the plasma membrane, but also provides, what are the things? Also provides, the first thing, it serves as enzymes. Okay, the first thing, it serves as enzymes. So it helps in catalyzing the chemical reaction. Okay, catalyzing the chemical reactions, catalyzing the chemical reactions within the membrane. Within the membrane. Second one is it act as a transport protein. There are transport protein is there which help in the transporting. So transport proteins or permease is there. What is the role of this? That these protein help in the movement of the water soluble ion. So it helps in the movement of water soluble ions. It helps in the movement of water soluble ions. Okay, so it acts as a enzyme, it acts as a permease. Then the next one is it acts as a pumps also, students. Pumps. How? For active transport. So for active transport in which the energy is required. So for pumps also the protein is used up. Then receptor protein for carrying the process of endocytosis. Okay. So it acts as a receptor protein. Receptor proteins to carry out the function of endocytosis. Okay, so to carry out the function of endocytosis. So this is the function of that of the protein, student, that it is not only used as giving strength but also used as an enzyme which help in catalyzing that of the It helps in catalyzing that of the chemical reactions that take place inside the membrane. It helps as a permease, which is what? A transport protein, help in transporting the water soluble ions, as well as it helps in carrying out the active transport and carrying out the process of endocytosis. Okay, so these are what? These are the some of the function of the proteins. Now let us move on and see another thing, and then we will start studying what are the different functions of that of the plasma membrane. So structure we have seen. Now let us see the function, but before that let us see that what is the advantages of a selectively permeable membrane. How can we see that a selective permeable membrane is good? Selectively permeable membrane. So the first thing that the useful molecules is enter the cell. The useful molecules enter the cell. So the useful molecules enter the cell. This is the first thing. The second thing that the metabolic or the metabolites, the metabolic intermediate remains in the cell. Intermediates remains within the cell. Remain within the cell. And third one is the secretion and the waste. Secretion and the waste. Secretion and waste leave the cell. This is what it is the importance of that of or advantages of a selectively permeable membrane. Useful thing will enter, the things which is important, that is metabolic intermediate, will remain, and the waste material will go outside. Okay.